tonight's film is one I had to seek out. I knew I'd seen something, and I remember being affected by it, but for 30 years I wasn't sure if I dreamt it. It's called Paperhouse, and it's a film that slips between childhood wonder and adult fear, showing us just how fragile the imagination can be.
Released in 1988, Paperhouse was directed by Bernard Rose, who would later go on to make Candyman.
Have you ever heard of Candyman?
Another film with an unsettling blend of reality and myth. It's based on the novel Marianne Dreams by Catherine Storr, a story first adapted in the early 70s as Escape into Night. Rose updates it with a darker tone. The idea is deceptively simple. What if whatever you drew came true?
Now, for a child, that's a game, but for an adult, it's a horror story. And Rose plays both sides of that coin. He captures the joy of imagination, but also the danger of a world where play and reality blur together.
I have the power to make the world, to make people better, and I'm not afraid to use it.
It's almost like a precursor to Death Note.
11-year-old Anna, bedridden with glandular fever, begins sketching a house in her notebook. That night, in her fevered dreams, she finds herself standing in front of it. Each time she adds details to the drawing, they appear in the dream. A lonely boy appears at the window, Mark, who is dying of muscular dystrophy in real life. The two children form a bond, half in the waking world, half in the dream world of the Paperhouse. But when Anna's estranged alcoholic father enters the drawing in a fit of rage, he becomes a terrifying figure who stalks her imagination, and what began as a fantasy becomes a battle for survival. The look of Paperhouse is stark and painterly. The house is all angles and shadows, bringing the child's sketch awkwardly to life. The dream world feels empty, a liminal space between childhood and something far more threatening, and the tone is enhanced by Hans Zimmer's score. The music is spare, minimal, and in the end, deeply emotional. Paperhouse was made on a modest budget by Working Title Films, who were still years away from the commercial success of 4 Weddings and a Funeral. It received strong critical notices on release. Roger Ebert in particular gave it 4 stars, calling it one of the most intelligent and haunting films of the year. But commercially it barely made a ripple. It was too dark for children.
Anna? Is that you?
But too much a children's story for adults. Nowadays it might slip into the young adults category and find a home, but in the late 80s it simply slipped through the cracks. And there were complications even before the release. Just 2 days before its theatrical run, it was decided that the character of Kate should be British. That left American actress Glenn Headley scrambling to redouble her dialogue in an English accent, virtually overnight.
You faked it!
And there are scenes where you can tell.
I'll be alright.
Listen, it's good. It's really good.
But that kind of just adds to the dreamlike charm. It's a film with an unusual casting background. Charlotte Burke was just 13 when she was picked from 1,500 auditioning girls to play 11-year-old Anna. It was her film debut. And she never acted again. Years later, she told Bernard Rose that she loved Paperhouse so much she couldn't imagine doing anything else, and so she simply stopped. Glenn Headley's next film would be Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, alongside Michael Caine and Steve Martin, a proper hit. However, it's Mark, played by Elliott Spiers, whose performance gives the film its heartbreaking centre.
How am I getting on in your world?
You're recovering, but not as fast as here.
Equally heartbreaking was the fact that he died only a few years after the film was released. Paperhouse is dedicated to his memory.
What I love about Paperhouse is that it takes the child's world seriously. It shows us how magical and how terrifying imagination can be. It's a film that doesn't spoon feed or soften its edges.
You did all this then, eh?
It's unsettling, poignant, and often very sad, which is why it stuck around. Until people began to call it a cult classic. For me, this is a Moviedrome film before Moviedrome even existed. I stumbled across the film on Sunday night on BBC Two when I was about 15 or 16, and I got sucked in.
I don't care what happens to me there, so long as I can be here with you. You see, your world doesn't matter anymore. We can live here.
Nearly 40 years later, it sticks with me. And that's the power not only of cinema, but of stories.